Namaskaram, my name is Kalki Subramaniam. As a child, every child has dreams and wishes, small to big wishes. And when I was a child, also had this beautiful wishes, this wonderful fairy tales of dreams and all that. And as a child, life used to be so colorful, so beautiful, full of promises and full of happiness. There's no question of gender confusion, and since you're not going to adulthood, all children are the same. And for me, I did enjoy my childhood up to 10, 11 years, I think so. But even then, I liked wearing pink. Purple was my favorite color. Red, not red then, but now I love red. I liked pink, I liked purple. I had a fascination for white. And I really hated yellow and orange. And when I became as a teenager, as an adolescent kid, I had faced severe discrimination because of my gender behavior. Especially being born as a boy, but coming out, my body language and the style of speaking and everything, my expression was feminine. So for that reason, I was discriminated in schools, in sometimes in public forums, and also sometimes by my friends as well. Would you call them friends if they discriminate you? You don't call them. But I do call them friends. So as a child, I had dreams, colorful, wonderful, fairy ones. But when I became an adolescent, my dreams started to fade away. The bright blue, purple, pink, they faded. And gray and dark black seems to emerge from my heart, from my life. And I think that stayed for many years. Until probably 10 years ago, when I actually started getting accepted by society, by my family, by a lot of people. I actually don't know when I found my true identity, because this is what I have always been. Would you ask a girl, like when she found out her identity, it is just the same, that asking me is like the same. I am this and I have always been this. But I think my body, I didn't like certain things about my body. So I changed my body according to who I am. So it's that simple. Initially, when I came out as a gender confused child, as a transgender child, my parents were shocked. They were terribly upset. My mom actually went into depression for some days. And my sisters were also in tears. So it was so painful for me to see them suffer because of me. And I think they took me to psychiatrists, doctors, and I was actually, they took me for treatment. And I was never treated because I don't have a disease. And transgenderism is not a disease. It's a part of the nature of how people are diverse. Gender identity can also be diverse. So this was not taught to my parents, nor to lakhs of people in India. So that is when I think my parents actually were suffering because of this. But eventually, I promised them that I will make them proud and I will never make them ashamed of my identity and my life. And today, I am staying to that. I think during my adolescent period, I have been severely teased, bullied at school, not only by students, but also by teachers. And even when I came to college, I have been sexually assaulted also. These were some of the painful memories that I have. I have had a very difficult adolescent period and also a very difficult college life. Life was very difficult for me till I transformed myself, my physique. I think the suffering I went through, I didn't hide away from it. I faced it, and rit- I've always rebelled against the injustice that was done to me. I've always fought back, and I think that way I'm proud today that I have made my life. I have been bold, and I've, I've shaped my life. I've designed my destiny. Pursued my education for dignity. I wanted to educate myself and I wanted to be respected by the world. For that purpose, I did my master's in journalism and mass communication. Journalism has been always, I wanted to be a journalist. But till today, I'm not a journalist, but I'm a writer and a poet, which also makes me happy. So I took up this master's course especially with the intention that I need to be respected for who I am, and particularly because I wanted the truth to come out about transgender people, about gender non-conforming people. I want to be the voice of the community. That is why I did my master's degree in that, in the course Journalism and Mass Communication. Later, I did international relations, in a master's degree in international relations, because I wanted to go global. I wanted to work internationally. That's why I took that master's degree.
But why don't you become a journalist? What was the reason for that?
I've not been a journalist working in a media house, but then I think I am independent and I'm a freelancer writing about my community, transgender community's issues without getting paid. I run blogs, I write articles. Sometimes I actually, some of my articles have been published in prominent newspapers. So I may not be a full-time journalist, but I'm more of a writer. Yeah, I'm more of a writer in that sense. And I think I'm a journalist too.
Have you ever tried for a job in a media house or in a prominent media house? Have you ever applied for a job?
I've never applied for a prominent media house because I don't want to work in a media house. Probably because I wanted to be independent and do my work as an activist. Being an activist was more important, being the voice of the community was more important. Probably I could have done better as a journalist, but I don't regret not becoming a journalist. My life is the reason why I am an activist. My life is the reason why I've become the voice of the marginalized. Under the discrimination I went through, the sufferings I went through because of being a gender non-conforming child, and all the suicides and deaths and murders I saw right from my childhood happening to transgender people, all this has created a big wound in my heart, and I wanted justice, not only for me, but for people like me. And that is the reason I became a social worker, an activist, working for the rise of the gender non-conforming people of India. Sahodri Foundation is a very small organization functioning with volunteers and my transgender friends. We have no funding, but we have done astonishing big work, better than a lot of NGOs. And we have been working for creating employment opportunities and trying to help transgender people with education. And more than that, we try to help them with counseling, guidance, and help them get out of the crisis that they live in, including suicidal tendencies, depression. Recently, we created a Facebook page called Jobs for Trans, through which we're trying to bring employers to potential transgender employees and trying to provide a better livelihood than begging and sex work. So we do a lot of innovative work for the community. For those transgender people who have actually been abandoned by their families, I shelter them, not all of them, but probably 2 or 3 of them. I think last year one trans person from Andhra was living with me for more than 2 years, and one person from Trivandrum, she was living with me for 4 months, and today they are independent. They have found their way. So I can't provide a shelter for all the abandoned transgenders. That's not my duty as well. It's the duty of the government. But I will I'll make sure that the government does it. But to my capacity, I am trying to help the community as much as possible.
How did you make them independent?
By providing them the counseling, giving them the confidence, teaching them to be brave, bold, and courageous, unlearning them, making them to unlearn the fear about the society, and teaching them the importance of education about human dignity and life education.
How did you make it possible?
I made it possible because I'm a transgender. I've gone through struggles. I had nobody to tell what life is all about and how life can be found by you alone. So I'm there today to tell this to transgender people. So I'm telling that. Life is a canvas and I am painting my own destiny on it. I've always been fascinated by colors, and colors are divine to me. As a child, I have done many paintings in school and have won prizes. But after many years, just 3 months ago, I met the art curator, Lata Rajiv, Korean in Trivandrum. And I just showed some of my sketches to her, watercolors, and she really loved it. And she said, you should hold an exhibition. I will coordinate it. I'll try to do something about it. And then I think after a month, I got a call from her. She had booked Elvis France, who have graciously come forward to exhibit my paintings. I'm very thankful to them. And in just 3 months, I started to paint again in big canvases, and during that painting of mine, it was a healing process. It was like tavam, it was like a meditation, it was healing. It was absolutely a very wonderful experience for me. I will continue to paint again and again.
Are you a self-taught painter?
Yeah.
Are you a self-taught painter?
Yes, I'm a self-taught painter. I've never gone to any school for training. But I've always been inspired by great masters like Emma Hussein, Jamini Roy, Picasso, Frida Kahlo, a lot of people. I'm living for the moment. I'm happy today. I'm doing good things, and I will be doing good things for me and for people like me. And I want to be a businesswoman, creating lots of wealth for myself and for people whom I can help. And in 5 years, I want to enter politics and serve the country, serve the people. And I will be good to them, good to everybody, I promise.